everybody, and welcome to our final Big Brother Canada 12 recap of the season, where we are joined with our winner, our second and third place, Bayleigh, Anthony, and Lexus on this recap slash interview for all of you. Now look, just because the season is ending, this is where we need you guys the most. Make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe wherever you are watching: Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. It is the best way for you guys to be notified every single time that we go live, and I'm live every single day for like 10 hours a day. So make sure that you're following those places, and if you like this show, share, tell a friend, tell a family member. We really appreciate it. Of course, you can check out our website for the past 10 years of our shows. You can see all of our current shows over on YouTube, and make sure that you check out our Discord. Now that the season is over, our Discord is where we are binging movies, binging television shows, cooking, recipes, celebrating birthdays, and more. Of course, like I said, I am live every single day around 4 p.m. over on YouNow. It's younow.com/realityrecaps. I am cooking dinner there every night. We are watching TV shows. We are doing crafts. It is kind of like Eric live feed. So if you missed the live feeds you didn't get from Big Brother Canada, well, you can check it out over there. Then every single night we are usually twitching, whether it's Fortnite or Jackbox games or Among Us. We have such a fun community. We hope that you guys will stick around and join us for what we do live every single day. It's not ending just because Big Brother Canada is ending. And of course we are covering BBUS this summer. But look, I know what you guys want to hear from, so let's jump right into second and third place, and let's start with Anthony and Lexus. How are you guys doing?
Good.
My man, good man. How you doing?
All right, Anthony, let's jump right in with you. We gotta ask, Mount Rushmore, greatest player of all time, Dougalloochie, what went wrong this season?
To be honest, if I were to put if I were to blame something, I would say I didn't navigate the girls very well. I feel like they were very strong, and even though there were times they went at each other, they still had a very strong common goal at the end. I personally don't think I could have done anything different. I think I did the best that I could, even with the evictions that I had to make. Nobody likes to get evicted. There's some players that are really game players that respect certain moves, and others are just bitter. And I think that cost me with the jury.
A lot of us were shocked that you took Bayleigh over Lexus. Can you walk us through why you felt that was a better move?
So it was a combination of things. I felt that because Lexus had played such a great game, because she is a woman of color, that the three members who had been promising to stick with and vote for a woman this season were 100% going to vote for her. Factoring that with her relationship with Tola, I was very afraid. I thought that she would have 100% beat me in the end because of her jury management and also the incredible game that she played. On the other side, I think that she played a way better game than Bayleigh. I thought Bayleigh was the more beatable player because she was on the low end of the totem pole with the girls. I really thought I had an advantage over her, and I had to make a heartbreaking decision on the best way for myself to win the game. And I had to betray my best friend, which I feel horrible about, but I had to do it for the game.
Did you ever consider taking Lexus to Final Two?
Yeah, for a majority of the season, I wanted to take Lexus to Final Two. When we made Hot Chocolate, they started treating Lexus different. And at that time, I was very close with her. So to hear them speak the way they were speaking of her and treating her that way, just really made me want to support her even more. And I feel that leading up to it, um, judging on how I thought the jury perceived me, not my gameplay, just me in general. I didn't think that I would have a shot against Lex. There was a conversation that Victoria had with Lexus in her final moments. And she quite often had mentioned it throughout the season, but she thought it would be great, as she reiterated many times, that there'd be two black women in the final. Having hearing that even in the later stages of the game, knowing that Victoria had some horrific things about Lex, and so have some of the other hot chocolates. The fact that even at that point she still thought that way just basically told me that I would have no shot against these players in the end. So again, I just, I had to make a decision on who I actually thought I could beat.
Ultimately, the jury felt you didn't own your game or did so too late. Do you agree with that?
It's very difficult to explain the things that I was doing in a 1 minute speech. I was hoping there were going to be more questions where I would be able to go over some of the things that I did. But unfortunately, this is going to be very similar to season 7. I have a feeling when people watch this back, um, their minds are going to be blown about some things. And at the end of the day, I'm very proud of the game that I played. The journey is much more important than the money. So I'm happy, I'm proud, and yeah.
All right, let's switch things up and move over to Lexus. But Anthony, what do you think Lexus's best and worst move was this season?
I think her best move was opening up and just being herself. She is an extremely beautiful person on the inside and out. And she's a very reserved person, as she should be. When you get to know Lexus, you see a beauty inside her that just makes you want to trust it. She is young in age, but very wise in her soul. And I think that her opening up and showing that side of uh, herself really made people want to work with her and trust her. And that's how she created such an incredible journey in terms of social gameplay, jury management, and a comp beast. So that's what I think her best strengths were in terms of the game. If I were to say a detriment, I would probably have to point it at Victoria. I think that Victoria was the leader in trying X. I remember the first time she told me she wanted to backdoor her, and just the to also know the other side of how Victoria would speak to her, but then behind her back, the things that she would say, the names that she would call her, um, was very shitty. So I feel like just trusting the girls as much as she did was probably her only flaw to her game.
Lexus, I want to ask you, a lot of people want to know if you had the choice of who to bring to the final two, who would you have chosen?
That's an answer I don't have. I don't fully know. I feel throughout this whole game, I wanted to be loyal to Anthony. I chose him on day one and stuck by that pretty much until the last moment. But I was looking down what the road looks like sitting beside Bayleigh and Anthony because you have to, and you have to be realistic with how you feel. And there was a huge opportunity to be sitting beside a black man is huge. There's never been two black individuals sitting in those final two chairs, but then it's also so rare to see two women sitting there. So it was a really, really tough decision because I would be winning in both situations, but also losing in a way. And I really don't know. It would have been a heat of the moment decision that hopefully my gut would guide me to the right place with.
Was there anything Anthony could have said to get your vote?
Um, I don't know. I think a lot of it had to do with like the last minute speech and just, I don't know. I don't know. Again, following my intuition, I left the doors and was thinking that he might have my vote, but I ended up voting for Bayleigh. So
Is there anything you want people to know about your game, Lexus, that we might not know?
I think that people assume maybe I was carried by an alliance, but really they were my biggest enemies. And I had to take my quietness and keep in mind, like, you live by the saying, you have two ears and one mouth, you listen more than you speak, and use that to your advantage. You have a lot of information, and you can take that information that you've harbored and navigate this game a little bit better and get yourself out of situations if need be. And so I think that my social game was actually really good, maybe a little bit underestimated, and people don't fully understand it. But if you dissect it, you'll realize that.
Where do you guys want people to follow you on social media?
Instagram.
Tell them what your Instagram is.
It's Lexus Jackson with 2 underscores at the end, I think.
And
I forget.
Anthony,
It's been so long.
Anthony, where do you want people to follow you?
Come on, baby. You know you can find me at Dougielicious on all platforms.
And Anthony, we have one last question from one of your biggest fans, Adam Pike, and he would like to know why you didn't tell him you were going to be on the show when he was at your house the day before.
I knew he was going to be cheesed. I wanted it to be a surprise for him. You know, he was also very close with my friend that passed. Adam actually flew in for the funeral and was with me the entire weekend to support me and have my back. I really wanted to tell him, but there was just so much going on, a lot of sadness, and then yeah, I made a final decision that I was going to go on the show. I didn't really tell very many people at all, to be honest.
Well, our
But
condolences.
I'm sorry, my boy.
Our condolences to you, Anthony. Thank you for opening up and sharing that part of your life with people. I think, you know, game aside, I think that helped a lot of people. Thank you, Lexus. Thank you both for taking time out to speak with us today. We can't wait to see you guys both in the real world.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Well, that about wraps up our interview with Anthony and Lexus. So now, before we jump over to your winner, I'm going to let you guys all know one more time really quickly, just because I know that some of you skipped that intro. Again, we are not going anywhere. I am live every single day over on YouNow starting at 4 p.m., where we are doing a cooking show. We usually move on to Twitch at late night. We play games like Among Us, Jackbox, Fortnite with all of you. It is so much fun. I'm live for about 10 hours every single day, so there is always stuff for you guys to watch. Of course, make sure that you're following, liking, and subscribing wherever you guys watch our shows. Telling a friend, telling a family member is a great way to help support them. Of course, our website has the archive of the past 10, 12 years of shows with the more current stuff over on YouTube, and our Discord is where we do stuff like binge shows, binge movies. It is our fun, free community. It's where we talk live feeds all summer long, watch them together and more. So make sure you check out our Discord as well. But look, I know what you guys want to talk to and who you want to hear from, because I want to talk to them. Of course, it's our winner, Bayleigh. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Well, right off the bat, I want to say on behalf of the LGBTQ community, we are so proud of you and thank you for doing such justice for us this season.
Oh my gosh, that means so much to me. Thank you.
All right, now I need to start with a very hard-hitting question, Bayleigh.
Okay.
How many hugs are you going to have to give Anthony after destroying him with that speech and winning the season?
I don't know if any amount of hugs will make up for that, if he'll forgive me for that, but I'll give him as many as he needs.
All right, Bayleigh. I have to admit, I was yelling at the TV when you turned on Spicy a little bit last week. So help me make it make sense. Why trust Anthony's word over someone you had a game relationship with all season?
Well, because there were a few things that Spicy did factually that were proven to me that showed me that I don't know if I can even trust her. I knew that Anthony was probably piling on and lying and, you know, making it seem worse. I think I did say to Anthony when he started planting these seeds, I said, I'm not turning on Spicy. But when Spicy voted to keep Avery over me is when I realized that I'm not her number one in this game. And if I'm not her number one in this game, then she's not riding for me the same way I'm riding for her. I plan on taking her all the way to the end, but now I don't think that she feels the same way. And when Anthony's HOH at that time, and the option is her or me, I had to get on board with it. And I had reasons for why it had to happen from my game. I wish she would have fought harder to prove to me that those things weren't true. But instead, she kind of proved it further that it was true. So at the end of the day, I didn't feel like she could be my number one anymore.
All right, let's switch gears to another one of your allies and another very serious question, Bayleigh. And it is, how hard was it understanding anything Todd was saying to you all season?
Oh my God. Well, being from the East Coast, it was kind of easy for me to catch on to his accent, but that guy needed subtitles at all times, inside the house as well. But I love him so much.
And we loved watching your friendship with Todd develop all season. If it came down to you having to pick between him and Spicy to go to Final Two, who would you have chosen?
I would have been extremely loyal and chosen Spicy. As much as I love Todd and, to be honest, had more of a trusting relationship with him than anyone else in the house, I had a goal in mind and I was sticking to my mission to make sure that a woman won the game. And I wanted two women to sit in the final two chairs. But if this was another life or I had two men to choose from, Todd was my number one guy.
So then, speaking of that, if you were the one to would have had to have picked last night of who to bring to the final two, you would have chose Lexus?
1,000%, yes.
Okay, now you would have won unanimously if it wasn't for someone who relates to a goose. So, why do you think you didn't get his vote?
Who knows why? Honestly, I think he's such a wild card. He's a wild goose, and I knew that I wasn't going to be able to gauge where his vote was going to go. He was very close with Anthony, though, in this game. He shared a bed with him. I think he really looked up to him like a big brother. They also had apparently a director's alliance that I wasn't aware of. So I think that, Goose wasn't wronged by Anthony the same way that the other juror members were. Anthony wasn't really responsible for Goose being in that jury house, so I don't think he was as bitter. I don't think Goose likes me that much, honestly, and I don't think he was fully aware of what was really going on in this house majority of the time. So he has no idea of what kind of game I truly played.
Can you shed any light as to what happened after, part 1 and 2 of the HOHs? Like, did you and Anthony have conversations about him picking you over Lexus? Because I think that was surprising to a lot of us.
Yes, we did a lot. Even before the final HOH, he has been promising me final two since Tola was still here. When we were down to the final 7, he told me that he wants to be my number one. I think that was his way of wanting to get rid of Spicy. I think that's another reason why he wanted to get rid of Spicy, because he knew that I would take her. And so he's been promising me final two for the last few weeks. Leading up to this three-part HOH, it was constantly like, final two, we got this. I promise you, I got you. You're going to see. It doesn't matter like who wins. If the two of us are in the last part, like this is our handshake that we're going to do when Lexus leaves. Like it was a fully committed plan. I had my doubts. Obviously, I really was like, I can't see him not taking Lexus. She's never done anything to him in this game. She's done less than me in this game. I think that she would be more beatable, and I just think he would be silly not to take her. But I hope he's telling me the truth. And the last few days, especially, really made me believe that he really was going to take me.
Did he come clean to you about all of Hot Chocolate, all the members, all of that in those final days, or no?
No. He tried to hide the fact that Lexus was involved in it. Another reason why I thought, well, that means he's taking her, because he's still protecting her. When I pressed him about the Hot Chocolate Alliance, he really dumbed it down, and I could tell. I knew that he didn't want to come clean about that. But I also knew if I really was your number one in the game, and if we really are doing this, that's something you should have told me about. So that also raised suspicions that maybe he's not taking me to the final two.
If you had to pick between Lexus and Anthony to give your vote, who would you have given it to?
Well, at that point, he would have evicted me. But I don't think I would be bitter. I think I would want to hear their speeches. I think that Anthony played a much more manipulative game. I think he played an incredible game, honestly. But Lexus is a woman, and Lexus played a very respectable game as well. So I would want to vote for Lexus, but I would have voted for the best player after hearing their speeches.
Is there anything you want people to know about your game that we might not know?
I don't know what they don't know, but I think just maybe my relationship with Anthony, I think people were really confused as to why I was always arguing with him all the time. And, you know, we really were trying to build a trusting relationship in the game. So the reason why we were working so hard at it is because we were working completely different sides of the house, but we essentially wanted to work together. We just didn't know how to do that. So I don't know if people could see that, but that is why I went so hard with him, against him, headbutting with him all the time, is because I really wanted to trust him and I just didn't know how.
Was there anything you learned about yourself coming out of this Big Brother experience that you didn't know before you started playing the game?
Yes, so many things. One of them being that I am more anxious than I thought I was. And another being that just how much of a fighter I am in life and in this game. I knew that I was scrappy. I knew that I was sassy, but I really didn't know, how I would react to being on the block or having my back against the wall or under pressure. I really felt like I would crack under pressure, and I almost did, but I came out on top a lot of the time. And I was really surprised and impressed with the way that I handled myself during those low moments. So coming out of this house, I feel much more confident in my mental strength.
Where do you want people to follow you on social media, Bayleigh?
Oh my gosh, Instagram, TikTok. I'm on all the apps.
What's your handle? Do you know what your name is?
Yeah, my handle on Instagram is Bayleigh.
Okay.
Just a little ode to Rihanna, the queen herself. And it's Bayleigh Pelham on TikTok.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for taking out time to speak with us today. Bayleigh, our winner, our queen. We can't wait to see you out here in these Big Brother streets in the real world.
Me too. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that about wraps up our post-season interviews, all of our interviews for this season. John and I will be doing our weekly recap show tomorrow around noon Eastern. Again, we are always live, always creating content for you guys all year long, so make sure that you are following Drake, we weren't allowed to ask about Drake. Drop a line. I don't even know what drop a line means, everyone. I'm losing it. I just mean make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe. It's a great way to help support the shows. Oh, I think I was going to say thumbs up and the bell on YouTube. All of those things. Such a great way to support the shows, as is telling a friend, telling a family member. Check out our website for the past, decades worth of shows. Check out our YouTube channel for all the new stuff. And our Discord is where we are live. Also, every single day, celebrating people's birthdays, binging shows, watching movies together, watch parties. It is so much fun over there. We share recipes, birthdays, pet photos, gardening tips. It's really our whole community. It's completely free. It is the future. So if you guys are not aware of Discord, go and check it out. It is so much fun. I, of course, like I said, am live every single day around 4 p.m. on YouNow. That's younow.com/reality recaps. I cook dinner with you guys every single night, and my mom. We hang out. Think of it as Eric Live feeds. We usually end the days over on Twitch, Fortnite, Jackbox, Among Us, fun community games like that. We would love you to come be a part of it. I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for supporting our shows, loving what we do all year long, this season especially. Thank you guys so much. Until the next show, again, I'm live every single day. See you guys over there. Bye for now, everybody. Bye, friends.